Hey there, welcome back to High Infidelity, the best channel for cheating stories. Like and subscribe to channel for more spicy stories. Now, let's get into today's story video. STBXW of 23 years just tried to kill herself last night. The punches just keep on coming and coming. I've been sitting in this chair for a long period of time. I wasn't sure where I should place this, but I figured this sub would be appropriate for the situation. So if you're looking for some background, have a look at my previous posts. If it helps, my previous 2 posts are accessible under my user profile. I'm not sure how linking to other subs works here, but my previous 2 posts are visible under my user profile. The short version is that I discovered that my 23-year-old wife, 45F, was having an affair with a 27-year-old coworker while I was away on business. We have 2 sons who are 22 and 17 years old, respectively. I planned a plan to completely destabilize her life by tricking her into thinking that I was having an affair of my own. In the meanwhile, I was accumulating evidence of her infidelity, preparing divorce papers, and planning my escape route. I kept the deception running for about 1/2 months, slowly moving my personal belongings from our home to a new apartment, getting a new phone and number, separating my half of our shared income from our joint account, etc. My goal was to gather all of the evidence of her affair that I had gathered, print it all out from beginning to end, file it all into 14 binders, package 11 of them in gift wrap, and mail it all out to the most important people in her life, as well as her HR department, with an ETA of 12/22-12/24/20. I completed this task on December 16, 2020. During her nap time on Christmas Eve night, I took one of the other 3 binders and repeated the process, except this time I taped the divorce notice to the inside cover and left it on my side of the bed, which, by the way, she had her lover in on a number of occasions, along with my old phone and my lawyer's business card, and shadow ghosted her. During the next 4 days, her life came crashing down around her. Her relatives practically exiled her from the household. Her friends, those who weren't aware of the affair, rejected her, and my own mother reprimanded her, calling her the most caustic and terrible adjectives you could think of to describe her. Her and her partner were both placed on administrative leave before being terminated from their employment. It was last week that we went to court for our divorce hearing, and we agreed on a formal separation that would lead to an uncontested divorce, with a few requirements for transitional income since she is now unemployed. According to the agreement, I'm responsible for paying the electricity bill, which is $653 per month, until either she obtains gainful employment or until 1 year after the divorce is finalized, which is expected to occur in 3 months. It is still her property, her car, and her half of the joint assets that she maintains possession of. I keep half of the assets, which include my automobiles, car, motorcycle, and boat, as well as my vacation home cabin in the Poconos. After the hearing, we had one more encounter in which she sought to defend her infidelity and pleaded with me to give her a second chance after the divorce was finalized. Of course, I said no, said a few choice words to her, and then walked away from her for the remainder of my life. This leads us to the previous night. Because only my closest friends, 2 boys, my elder sister, and my mother know my new contact information, and I've totally banned my STBXW on all social media platforms, she has had no way of contacting me since I left her on Christmas Eve, but some of our shared acquaintances do. I was chilling out in my apartment last night when I received a voice call notice on Messenger from one of her pals, one of the few who hadn't abandoned her after I revealed her affair. When I replied, she didn't waste any time in telling me that she had gone to check on Sue, the STBXW, and found her passed out in the bedroom, foaming out of the nose with 2 bottles of empty pills next to her. She is in critical but stable condition in the intensive care unit. Although the doctors believe she will survive, she is plainly not going to be well thereafter. She begged and pleaded for my presence. Her parents and 2 sisters were also in the hospital. My hunch is that they were told after the hospital tried to tell me, but Sue would still have my old phone number as her emergency contact. I just said no. Sue is no longer my concern, and she plainly chose the easy way out rather to face with the guilt and sorrow of the 23-year marriage she shattered. I then informed her friend that if Sue's family was nearby, they could assist her in putting the parts back together. But as far as Sue and I are concerned, there is no Sue and I anymore. I then hung up the phone. I've had a few hours to think about it, and my son phoned this morning to ask if I knew. Yes, I informed them, but I also told them that if they want to be there for their mother and support her, I would not hold it against them or criticize them for it. After all, she is their mother, but I've washed my hands of her and don't give about what she does for or to herself anymore. They were both taken aback by this, but they respected my viewpoint. However, now that the news of her suicide attempt has spread, many of those people who abandoned her are resurfacing and telling me that I need to be there for her. That, despite all she did to me, I must help her in her hour of need. I've also been told that her AP attempted to see her this morning, but was denied since he isn't family. I'm being dogpiled to go visit her, but I no longer care about this lady. I haven't in a long time. I checked out throughout the process of gaining my retaliation for her treachery, and I still don't care about what she did. In fact, it makes me even more despised of her. She is the one who has been unfaithful. She's the one who thought an almost year-long relationship with a man 5 years her senior was worth wrecking 23 years of her life. And now that she has to cope with the repercussions of her decisions, she picks the most selfish approach. Even now, knowing she'll most likely live, she's garnered quick sympathy from everyone who took her to task, and I'm being painted as the cynical ex-husband, refusing to feel for her by most of her family, not her father. He's contacted me in the past several hours and said that he supports my choice to remain away. It's as though I never really knew this lady. It's taken 23 years for this to happen. Yes, I understand that the manner I ended things with her may have left her in a bad emotional condition. But now a whole new bag of worms has been opened because either she had a full mental breakdown and chose to self-delete herself, or she performed a very hazardous and deliberate action to win back the respect of individuals who had only weeks before denounced her for betraying me. She cheated on me, and now she's the victim. Sorry if this seems like a rant, but I'm just trying to get my head around this. I want to be clear. I will not be visiting Sue. She gave up her right to me caring about her health the day she allowed POS. Her lover's personal moniker put his into her. This may come out as cruel, since despite my cool, calm, and collected demeanor during my entire experience, my emotions are still extremely raw. But I don't give a F about this lady. I haven't in a long time. I'm quite aware that I'll be condemned by a lot of people here. I couldn't care less. Consider me in whatever way you choose, but if you were in my position, you'd perceive her acts quite differently. Some of you are going to go up my post history and read about what I did to her, and you'll come to believe that her suicide attempt was my fault, that I tormented her for months, tricking her into believing I was cheating on her while she deliberately cheated on me, then destroyed her socially and professionally as a consequence, was the spark for her collapse. Perhaps it was. Perhaps I'm a ruthless sociopath. However, as Arthur Fleck famously said, you get what you have deserved. I gave her half of my life and tried all I could be the finest spouse she could possibly have. By her own admission, I had no influence on her choice to leave our marriage. For her, she did it. Her self-centeredness has no boundaries, and I'm relieved to be free of her. If it makes me the bad person since I'm not going to see her and don't intend to engage with her again, so be it. I stand firm in my beliefs. She took the decision to turn on me. She chose to prioritize her wants above the demands of our marriage. So now it's up to me to prioritize myself above anything else. Quick update. Sue's father has told me that she has been transferred from the ICU to the mental health ward. Doctors are continuously keeping an eye on her mental condition. She's alert and intelligent again, but clearly drowsy. Her father informed me that when she inquired whether I was coming to visit her, he answered no, and she shut down. He graciously said that any additional news he would provide only if I question, as he realizes the state of mind I'm in. I've also arranged therapy on the 17th. The first consultation is scheduled on Monday.